Alright, first-time campers, when you arrive at your site, we'll be there to help you out to set up your tent. Here's some of the basics. When thinking about placing your tent on the ground, make sure that there's no stones, sticks, things that'll be uncomfortable to lay on when you're on the ground, because you will be sleeping on it. Make sure that there's no areas where the water will pool underneath your tent, and that it's not on too much of an angle, because it is really uncomfortable to sleep on a hill. Also, when you're choosing a place to put your tent, make sure you look above you at limbs of trees that might break off and fall onto your tent at night. That would be an unpleasant way to wake up. So we're going to unroll our tent now. Inside of it, you're going to find a few pieces. This piece is your fly. This will keep the water out of your tent at night. And the tent itself. So we'll start laying out our tent. We've scoped out this area, made sure that there was no big stones, things that will hurt us at night. So when opening up your tent, you'll find that there's going to be one entrance to your tent, and you're going to want to think about where you're going to be coming in and out of your tent. A lot of the time I like to face it towards the interior of the site. It's easy access in and out of the tent, so Manya and I will spin the tent that way. So there's two major poles in your tent. We're going to split these up. Manya can take one and I'll take the other one, and we'll start creating the full-size pole. They have elastic bands inside of them that keep them together, and they interconnect. As you can see, they're very long. And now that we have them together, we're going to put them right through the sleeves, these blue sleeves on top of the tent. So Manya and I will work together to feed this pole through the sleeve, and we can lay this down on the ground for now, and we'll start on our second pole. So you want to make the poles even on each side of the sleeve. You can use the sections of these silver connectors as a way to measure how far out your poles are. And so with both of us on one end of each pole, we can lift up the tent. And what we're going to do is we're going to be putting the pole into the stake that's at the corner of the tent. And once you have the first side up, you can switch to the second pole. You'll find a little bag of stakes inside of your tent bag. 4 of them will go on each corner of the tent. So I'm going to give Manya 2, and I'll take 2. You can use a rock that's laying around, you can use your foot, you can get creative and find ways to put these into the ground, no problem. So once you have all 4 stakes in, we'll take our rain fly and stretch it out over the top of our tent. You'll find that there's one side of the fly that goes onto the front of the tent, and we're going to stretch it right over the top. And on all 4 corners, you'll find that there are little clips that go onto the corner loop of the tent. It is helpful to do the opposite side when you're clipping it on, because then it won't fall off when you're trying to put it together. The last piece is this pole that opens up just like your big tent poles, but this one will go through the front of the fly to give you a little bit of a vestibule, a little front porch. Once you slide it through, you'll find that underneath, inside the tent, there's 2 eye holes. So underneath there'll be some Velcro. This will attach to the pole on the inside of the fly. Once you have all your poles in place on your fly, you can grab the side strings that are on all 4 corners and grab a stake, adjust the length to how far you need it to come to the ground, and push it right in. This keeps the structural integrity of your fly out and away from your tent a little bit so that it doesn't leak inside. We're super excited to have you guys come and be first-time campers with us.
Even when everything doesn't go as planned, we're gonna have an adventure and we'll have a lot of fun.
See you guys at the campsite. Home sweet home.